Hi guys, my name's John and I'm the Miniature Hobbyist. Welcome to my channel. So every now and then I like to build something a bit bigger than I can on my desk. So that's why obviously I'm over here by my table. I don't have much room. I've literally got a little corner in my living room. So I would love to build big things all the time. But yeah, there's not a lot of room to sort of build them and then to store them. But I have recently just built something really rather, well, quite large, well, big for me anyway. And it's this. It's a trench crusade board. Obviously I would love to build this sort of, well, I don't know, 4 foot by 4 foot or even bigger. But I built this one more kill team size. Really pleased with how it's come out. Love the look of it. And yeah, can't wait to sort of play some games on this. So let's dive straight into the video and show, well, exactly how I built a trench crusade board, kill team size, in, well, the corner of my living room. So yeah, that's my little desk right behind me where I normally sit to paint miniatures. And I say sometimes I do get out onto the bit of a bigger desk and build some bigger stuff, but I would love to build more of these. Anyway, I'm going to start waffling, so let's get into the video and show exactly how I made this.
So the board is made up of a combination of 3D printed parts and a lot of packaging, as in obviously all the stuff you get when you get, well, when you get a 3D printer, it comes in a box with a load of packaging. So I've been using a lot of that in this. So for the actual 3D files, there's a Kickstarter that's just out, or will be out any moment. That's Grimdark Terrain Mark II, made by Warscream Forge. I will leave links down below, guys. Go and get a click, check out more about this this awesome looking terrain. And as you can see, absolutely shed load of bits and pieces, which is cool. Loads and loads of different walls to obviously download and print out and to make your board. And obviously the great thing, as always, yeah, very modular. So you can make the boards however you want and then obviously make them different each time. So what I've done is I've taken obviously into slicing software because obviously you can print these out as they are, which I am going to print out loads of these bits for sort of the center bits of the board. But I knew I was going to have a lot of these boards kind of like pushed into the side of a mountain rather than 3D print the whole thing and obviously kind of waste half of it because, well, half of it's going to be in a wall, so you won't be able to see it. It's easy and simple just to, well, cut the thing in half. And then that way, obviously, you're saving resin because I've now got 2 bits of wall that I can place against, well, the side of the mountain. So nice and easy to do this. Obviously, these files do come pre-supported, but obviously I've downloaded the ones that aren't supported because, well, I wanted to chop them in half. But as you can see, tons of detail in these walls, which is awesome, and a huge variety of walls, which makes it even better to make your board, well, look very different and very unique. So I just use the simple sort of supports that came with the slicing software. As you can see, absolutely filled my plate with tons of bits and pieces. Some of them are obviously the full sort of 3D bits, and some, yeah, been sliced in center. So I wasn't too sure how I was going to make this up, so I just printed out, well, loads of bits, so a whole variety of the walls and arches and sort of doorways. And then for the board, well, some of the projects I make, guys, don't always get to the end. And this one was going to be a new kill team board at the smaller scale of 15 millimeters. So it's going to be a huge kill team board at a smaller scale. Yeah, never quite finished that one. So I'm going to use the board, or the other side of the board, to obviously make this sort of this terrain. So yeah, as I said earlier, I'm using basically packaging foam, a lot of bits and pieces. Well, I do get sent 3D printers and, well, anything else I might get sent or buy. I do like to keep some of the packaging just for this very moment. I don't like throwing stuff away, I must admit. I do like, I'm not quite a hoarder, but yeah, I always think some of this stuff is going to be useful at a later date. So it's like in my head, I've got a rough idea. Well, I say rough idea. All I knew was I wanted it to be on different levels. I wanted there to be obviously a bit of an open playing field, then also, yeah, a hilly sort of bit with different levels. And that's something I don't normally make. I must admit, most of the boards I make are flat. So yes, it was nice to have something that has got a bit of hilly terrain. And as you'll see, I do sort of include steps so you can get from the bottom up to the top. As I say, I really do like making these bigger sort of boards. It is just a case of I don't really have the room to store them. But the good thing is there's a local game shop very near me. And when I say very near me, It's literally just it's about a mile down the road. So I will be donating this board to them. As apparently where I live, there is a big Warhammer community, which I didn't really know about until about 6 months ago. I kind of came across them. So yeah, I am going to be sort of donating this to them so they can play it, and they can then have the problem of where to store this. I say this is more kill team size. I would have liked to have made, say, a bigger board that was sort of like at least 3 by 4 foot or whatever. And maybe in the future I might. So, guys, if you ever want me to make a board up, get in touch, because I say that's the only thing that really puts me off making big boards is the fact I don't have the room. As you can see here, yeah, I'm going to get a bigger brush as well, because obviously I don't make big things, so I didn't have a bigger brush. I'm using PVA glue, mainly because I'm going to be using a lot of glue on this project. PVA glue is cheap, and also with the styrofoam, it doesn't sort of eat into it, which a lot of other glues will. Well, I say other glues, super glue will. I think what's that monkey glue? The Gorilla Glue. I don't think that burns into it, so that's pretty cool. But again, that's quite expensive. So I've just gone for good old PLA. It bonds really well. It just takes about 4 days to really go off. So as I say, I'm sort of making this up. I've got a rough idea, but yeah, I'm winging it, guys. But again, that's the fun of these bigger builds. Is yeah, you have a bit of an idea, but then as you go, obviously it depends on obviously the styrofoam that you've got that you're building with. So plans change, but also as you're thinking when you are building it, I'm kind of thinking of little scenarios of how the gameplay might go. So you do want some, like say, open areas where there's going to be a lot of action, but you also want a lot of areas where, well, you can hide behind things. And talking about hiding behind things, yeah, we've now got the 3D printed walls, and it's a case of well, putting these here and there. And again, in my head, I'm playing out little scenarios. I'm such a big kid sometimes. I really am. It's like a little movie going on in my head, um, of people sort of running out and in these like well platoons, I guess they would be, in the side of the hill. So yeah, so these are obviously all the bits that I've sort of sliced in half because they're going to go against the wall. And then I say this open area is where I'm going to have the walls as they are. So obviously both sides will have bits and pieces. And then again, yeah, good old PVA glue. So this stuff's great, but it really does take quite a few days for it to really sort of set and bond. But again, the good thing about that is you can place everything down, and if you're not happy with it, you can well move it, which is what I do to one piece. Well, later on in the video, you'll see something that was there then disappears and something else appears. So yeah, making some stairs. Again, this is all sort of 32mm scale. So I've made sure that with these stairs, you can get a miniature on them. So obviously, if you couldn't, well, that'd just be pants. So yeah, the Warscreen Forge Grimdark Terrain 2, it does have a whole lot of other bits and pieces. It's not just walls. It's yeah, there's tons of other items. So guys, click on the link down below to find out more information about what's included in everything. So yeah, I love these raising tables. They are great, especially today to work at because you can raise them really, really high. I'm only 5'7", but this thing goes up above my well my logo on my shirt there. It goes that high, which is pretty cool. So I've kind of got most things in place now. To do a bit of basing. So I've just got the good old the cheap bag of sand. I think this one's for fish tanks, just because it's about 3-4 quid for obviously a huge big bag. Again, using PVA glue and just sprinkling it here and there. And yeah, it's just a quick, simple way of covering everything up, blending it all in together. So it does look like a sort of a uniformed flooring. So yeah, tons of this. So this thing at the bottom corner there, that big thing with the sandbags, that's the thing that I didn't like the look of in the end, and then I moved it. So before obviously painting it, I again want to make sure I can blend everything in. So another material that I actually love using, that's good old grout. Because again, this stuff, I think in America it's called spackle, but in the UK, yeah, good old grout. This is used for, well, putting tiles up in bathrooms generally. But obviously it is also good for filling in holes, gaps and cracks. Or in this case, I'm kind of spreading it on like I'm making a cake. And this is again just going to go in all the nooks and crannies, fill in any gaps. And yeah, again, it just gives it a rough sort of texture. Well, you can get it smooth, but obviously how I'm doing it on the top is going to be nice and rough. Yeah, this bit as well, I felt like I was icing the cake because around the sides, I do want it to be sort of relatively smooth. So I think I did use a whole pot on this. I'll have to admit, I probably went a bit OTT, but I just love it. I love grout. It's just a fun sort of material to use. So it really does sort of blend in, fixes any holes, cracks. And a good thing, obviously, with it, when it dries, it's like granite. It goes rock hard. So before it dries, I can sprinkle some more of my little sand because this will then obviously stick to the grout. And when the grout goes off, yeah, it's all there, it's all good. And this is kind of where we're at. I want to make more of these. I do love making these big boards, but say I don't have anywhere to store them. So guys, if you want me to make you a custom board, get in touch. Obviously, if you're in the USA, it can be a bit difficult getting it to you. So this is probably just for those in the UK and probably those who are local to me. I'm in a town or city, whatever it's called, Hampshire. I'm in southern Hampshire, is where I'm sort of based. Yeah, so if you want one of these, get in touch. So obviously, once everything was fully dried, cured, went round with a good old hoover just to suck up any loose bits, because obviously now we're ready to paint. As this is large, I've taken it outside, and obviously we've had a few sunny days here in the UK, which is quite rare. Well, I think it could be just an early summer. So come June, July, we're probably going to get rain. So primed it all in black. And then to make it easier on me to sort of paint the whole thing, rather than getting out a brush and going around painting it, I thought I would use those very same primers. So I use the Color Forge primers. And the thing I love about their stuff is they do a whole range of colors, which is really cool. So I was thinking, well, I want kind of want the walls to be grey, but then obviously I want the floors and everything else to be sort of a brownish color. I am going to go over later, as you saw in the very first clip, there is kind of grass on this. So that's going to cover up a lot of areas as well. But this just makes painting this thing a whole lot quicker and simpler and easier and more fun. I must admit, it is fun to sort of use a spray can to try and, well, to paint this thing with rather than just as a primer. So all the walls were grey, and say the floor, yeah, that's going to get the brown. But again, I don't mind so much if this obviously mixes in with the colours, but it can just look like the dust and dirt has blown up onto the walls and obviously discoloured the walls a little bit. So yeah, I don't really care too much at this point that they were blending in a little bit. I did go back and forth and then go over some areas a bit more grey, some areas a bit more brown. And this is kind of where we were at. Again, loved how it came out. Nice and simple. And most importantly, I was having fun. And like I'm always saying, guys, we're making things, painting things. This is a hobby, unless you're obviously doing it sort of professionally and you're making boards for other people. But yeah, you want to be having fun when you're making these. And I was certainly having fun with this. So when it comes to the painting, yeah, I'm keeping it quite basic, just slapping the paint on. So I do know that I'm going to go over a lot of these areas that I'm sort of painting now with a wash. So a good old sort of, I think I went with a brown wash. So a good old wash. Obviously that again ties everything in. Because this is a battlefield, it doesn't need to be too neat. And I know when I first started painting, I always had this thing, I had to make something look perfect. And the problem with that is it puts you off painting for starters. But then when you are painting, any little mistakes, they really get to you. And I say they kind of put you off. So now, yeah, don't care less, I think is the term that I would use. Care less, have fun. Whatever happens, happens. As Bob Ross says, you get some happy little accidents along the way. And I say this is meant to be a battlefield, so it doesn't need to be neat. It can be rough, ready, dirty, basically worn, weathered, lived in, bombed out. So yeah, really pleased with how this came out. So good old wash over everything. Make homemade wash because obviously you needed loads of it, and then just some sort of basin terrain. So I've got a good old bit of grass here. This is a mix of I think about 4 different sort of grass colours, and then obviously the fine cork just to sort of add on as bits of dirt afterwards. I did used to have one of those static Watsits to make the grass stand up. Yeah, I used it, and then it's like, is it really worth it? So I think I kind of got rid of that quite a few years ago, and now I literally just sort of sprinkle it on. Still use a sieve because obviously it gets it nice and fine. So it's not too clumpy. And then yeah, a little bit of dirt here and there. Let it dry, and again, good old vacuuming it up. Well, I do need to get like a special little vacuum cleaner, a smaller one, just for this, because obviously I'm vacuuming it up, and obviously I'm losing and wasting a lot of material. Was if I had a small vacuum, I could literally vacuum up the stuff. It would be in the tank, and I could put it back in the box. And there we go. This is what we've got, and say I love it. It's so nice to have a board that's actually got different levels on, because it's something I've never really done before. The actual 3D printed parts really blend in and merge well with the walls. So I love how that's sort of come out. And I probably used not even half the different types of walls there are. There's also a lot of sort of scattered terrain as well with the Grimdark terrain too. So say go check it out. It's by War Screen Forge. We'll leave links down below, coming out very soon. But say, love how this board looks. So I will be donating this to say the local gaming community that is in my area, which again only recently found out about, but actually love the fact there are a lot of sort of Warhammer gamers here and D&D gamers. So it does mean that I can make these kind of things and give it to them. So this is built for 32mm scale. So I've got a few miniatures here, and these are by Soul Good Creators, which is the same team behind Warscreen Forge. And if you're looking for sort of any kind of miniatures really, specifically sort of trench crusade looking ones, yeah, go check out Soul Good Creations. Again, I'll leave a link down below. I've printed loads of their miniatures before and painted them, tons of detail, awesome looking. And yeah, go check them out. So again, this is me now reenacting in my head what we could do. Say there's plenty of hiding places, which is obviously great. But again, lots of areas that are nice and open that you may need to run out to grab the objective with obviously out getting shot. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to say check out the links to Grimdark Terrain 2. It's Kickstarter coming out very soon, if it's not out already by the time you watch this video. A great source for these kind of like tiles to make your boards with. Say I've obviously incorporated mine into this sort of thing. You can just print the pieces out and use them to make walls, kind of like the kill team sort of thing. And then yeah, say very modular. So you can obviously make and mix and match to whatever sort of scenario you may be going for. But in regards to this, yeah, absolutely love this. As I say, I have to admit, I spent quite a lot of time messing about, taking lots of more footage of me, yeah, playing with toys. I love it. Such a big kid. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one where I'm building, well, hopefully another one of these sort of big creations. If not, I'll be painting some miniatures on my desk. Okay, guys, many thanks. I'm going to keep waffling on. Yeah, love you. Bye.